Good morning, students. Just now we discussed about abiotic agents of pollination, and now we are discussing about biotic agents of pollination. Okay, see, you know about. mm, 1 minute. So, abiotic agents means the agents of pollination which are non-living things like wind and water. Also, there are most of the plants show biotic agents, their pollination through biotic agents. So you can see in this picture here one flower is there and butterfly is visiting at that flower. Here also bird is visiting or to feed to take the nectar. So these are the biotic agents of pollination. Okay, biotic agents, it includes living agents. Okay, it is most important. Biotic, which is having life, that is living things. When there is the pollination takes place through the agency of living agents, then it is called as biotic pollination. Okay, biotic agents of pollination. About 80% of plants require to help of other living moving creatures such as insects, birds, bats, snails to transfer their pollen grains from one flower to another. These also sustain our ecosystems and produce natural resources by helping plants to reproduce. See, okay, about 80% of the plants show biotic, they need biotic agents for their pollination, and these are living things, moving creatures. Okay, as they are living, they are moving creatures. Okay, such as insects, birds, bats, snails to transfer their pollens from one flower to another flower. Okay, next, these also sustain our ecosystem. Our ecosystem is made up of so many living and non-living things. As these agents visits that flower, they also sustain, or can uh, they can continue their life because they are feeding on that flower to get nectar. So they produce natural resources by helping plants to reproduce. First, pollination by insects. When there is the in the previous lecture also I told you about the entomophily and what is the difference between entomophily and anemophily. Anemophily means wind pollination, hydrophily means water pollination, and entomophily means insects pollination. Entomology is the branch of biology which deals with the study of insects. Entomo shabda in entomo word suggests insects. So pollination by insects. For example, jasmine. It occurs in rose, jasmine, cestrum, etc. Okay, it is a salvia flower. Next, adaptations. So to fulfill this method of pollination, there are some adaptations in entomophilous flowers. Entomophily means insect pollination by insect, and the plants which show entomophily are called as entomophilous flowers. So first, they are large, showy, and often brightly colored. So these flowers are large in their shape. They are showy, means attractive, hmm, and often brightly colored to attract that insects or biotic agents. Second, the flowers produce sweet odor, that is smell, and have nectar glands. Their sweet odor, fragrance is there. Okay, smell is very sweet, and they have nectar glands, means they produce sugary substances. Next, the stigma is rough due to the presence of hair or is sticky due to mucilaginous secretion. What is stigma? Stigma is the part of their gynoecium. Okay, gynoecium is made up of stigma, style, and ovary. So, stigma is rough due to the presence of hair. Means when the pollen grain will be deposited at the stigma, then it is trapped in that stigma. So, the stigma is rough due to the presence of hair or is sticky. It may be sticky. When it is having hairs, then it is then that pollen grains are trapped in that hairs, or when it is sticky at that time also. Once the pollen grain deposited on the stigma, they cannot escape, they are sticked at the stigma. due to mucilaginous secretion. So there are some mucilaginous secretion at the stigma, so that it becomes sticky, and the pollen grains are trapped, or they are attached to that stigma. The pollen grains are spiny. Pollen grains are also spiny and surrounded by yellow sticky substance called as pollen kit. Whatever the pollen grains produced at the anther, they are also spiny. They are not smooth walled. They are spiny and surrounded by yellow sticky substance called as pollen kit. Okay, when one insect visits one flower, and it takes that pollen grains, and then it is deposited on the stigma of another flower. At that time, to the legs of that insects, that pollen grains are not trapped. That's why they are having rough surface, spiny surface of pollen grain. Okay, some plants have special adaptations for the insect visitor to help in cross pollination. For example, liver mechanism or a terpine mechanism in salvia. So it is the salvia flower. There are specialized mechanism which is called as liver mechanism, huh? Or terpine mechanism, turnpipe mechanism in salvia. This is the special adaptation. What happens here when these insects visits the first flower? At that time, the pollen grains are dusted on the back of that insect, and when the same insect will visit the another flower, at that time, because of liver mechanism, the stigma picks up that pollen grains from the back of that insect. That is called as liver mechanism. ओके, म्हणजे एखादा इन्सेक्ट जेव्हा एखाद्या सॅल्विया सारख्या फ्लॉवर मध्ये जातो, तेव्हा त्याचे जे अँथर आहे, तिथे ते म्हणजे बिकॉज ऑफ दॅट insect, the flower is pressed and some pollen grains are dusted on the back. When this same insect visits another flower, at that time the stigma of that flower picks up, उचलून घेतो तो त्या पाठीवर पडलेले pollen grains, आणि अशा प्रकारे त्यांच्यामध्ये पॉलिनेशन होतं. Next, see here, liver mechanism. It is the salvia flower, it is the insect, sorry, it is the salvia flower, and it is the stigma. Okay, like this insect enters inside the flower, and pollination takes place like this. Liver mechanism. Okay, you can see over here. Next, do you know, you only read this, and it is the self study. Okay, means you can understand this, do you know, and think about it, both these sections. Next, pollination by birds. Now, pollination by birds, ornithophily. When there is the pollination by insect, then that is the entomophily. When there is the pollination by birds, then this term is called as ornithophily. And the plants which show ornithophily are called as ornithophilous plants. Okay, only a few types of birds are specialized for pollination. Not all birds, but some birds can perform, or they can help for the process of pollination. Okay, only a few types of birds, some specialized type of birds are there. Not all birds, means like crow or sparrow, they cannot perform, but only a few types of birds are there which are specialized for pollination. They usually have small size and long beaks. These birds are small, very small in size than another birds, as compared to other birds. But these birds which performs function for pollination are small in size, and they are having long beak like this. Okay, for example, sunbirds and hummingbirds. These are the two examples of birds which acts as the agents for pollination. Okay, pollination by birds, that is ornithophilous. So sunbirds and hummingbirds, some ornithophilous plants. Now these are the examples of birds which are helpful for pollination, that is sunbirds and hummingbirds. Now plants, not all plants, but in some plants pollination is possible through birds, and these plants are bombex, means bamboo, then callistemon, that is bottle brush or Butea. Okay. Next, adaptations in ornithophilous flowers. Now, what is the difference of other flowers and ornithophilous flowers? Okay, how they are adapted. First, flowers are usually brightly colored, large and showy. Okay, flowers are usually brightly colored, means they are dark in color, large and showy, means they are attractive. Next, they secrete profuse dilute nectar. They sugary substance are secreted by these flowers to feed that birds. Okay, see, when any biotic agent is responsible for pollination, at that time both are beneficial, means that insects or birds can get nectar from that flower, and in return to that the flower is pollinated by that biotic agent. So both are beneficial, means nectar is provided by the flower to that particular bird or insect, and in return to that, that insects or birds performs the function of pollination. Okay, so just like that, they secrete profuse and dilute nectar. You can remember that in water pollinated plants there is no any production of nectar because no need, but here the these flowers secretes profuse and dilute nectar. Next, nectar is different and honey is different. Pollen grains are sticky and spiny. The pollen grains of such flowers are sticky, rough, or spiny. Spiny. They are having spiny pollen grains, so that these pollen grains can trap to that birds. Next, the legs or the beaks of that birds. Flowers are generally without fragrance because birds have poor sense of smell. No any fragrance or sweet odor is produced. No any fragrance is produced by these flowers because birds are having poor sense of smell. त्यांचं काही फारसं सेन्स ऑफ स्मेल जास्त तीव्र नसतं. दे कॅनॉट टेक दॅट स्मेल. ओके, नेक्स्ट, pollination by bats. See, biotic agents, first pollination by insects, then pollination by birds. Now, third, pollination by bats, that is Chirapterophily. Bats can, when the pollination takes place by the agency of bats, that is वटवाघूळ आपण म्हणतो. So when the pollination takes place by the agency of bat, then it is called as Chirapterophily. Bats can transport pollens over long distance, sometimes several kilometers also. Bats can transfer the pollen grains from one flower to another flower which are far away from each other, long distance. What are the adaptations? See, in Chirapterophilous flowers, adaptations in Chirapterophilous flower, it is the bat or this flower is Chirapterophilous flower. Flowers are dull colored with strong fragrance. They are not very attractive or brightly colored. They are dull colored, but they are having strong fragrance because bats are having strong sense of smell. They secrete abundant nectar. A large quantity of nectar is secreted by these flowers to feed that bats. Flowers produce large amount of edible pollen grains. Pollen grains are also edible, that bats can feed upon that pollen grains also. For example, Anthocephalus, that is kadamb tree, kadamb. Then Adansonia, baobab tree, and Kile, Kigelia, that is sausage tree. Now, outbreeding devices. Outbreeding devices means what? It is the contrivances. Outbreeding devices means what? In some flowers, in some plants or in some flowers, a condition is there in which self-pollination is not possible. So, even though they are having pollen grains, even though they are having stigmas, but the self-pollination is not possible, and hence some outbreeding devices are needed. Okay, so I think we shall discuss this in the next slide. Okay, see, outbreeding devices, there are um, unisexuality, dichogamy, prepotency, heterostyle, hercogamy, self incompatibility. So many devices are there. Okay, but we'll uh, discuss this in the next lecture. Up to that, you make notes of today's topic, that is abiotic agents and biotic agents of pollination. Okay, thank you.